Hello everyone, my name is Josh Ortiz and I'm a junior in mechanical engineering at Clemson University. To give you a little bit of background about myself, I'm 32 years old. I was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Immediately after high school, I enlisted in the Marine Corps where I served for 12 years. My primary job was working and flying on helicopters, and I deployed to Iraq one time doing that. I also spent a few years as a Marine security guard serving at embassies overseas. In 2014, I got out of the military and decided to go into mechanical engineering. I started that at UNCW in Wilmington, North Carolina, where I attended for a year before transferring to Clemson last fall. I'm taking this course on technical writing as a requirement for my major. My goals for this course are to better understand how personal bias can affect technical communication, to learn how technical writing varies from one field to another, to ensure my own writing achieves its intended purpose, and to figure out how to use technical writing to enhance my career. In the end, I just hope that this and all my other courses help me to get a job that I can both enjoy in terms of the people that I'm working with and the work that I'm doing, as well as pay me enough to be comfortable. Ultimately, though, I would like to own my own company because I enjoy leadership and responsibility, and I miss that from my time in the Marines. So what do mechanical engineers do? Well, the first paragraph of the Wikipedia page says that mechanical engineering is the discipline that applies the principles of engineering, physics, and material science for the design, analysis, manufacturing, and maintenance of mechanical systems. It is that branch of engineering that involves the design, production, and operation of machinery. It is one of the oldest and broadest of the engineering disciplines. Mechanical engineers work in every industry, from medical and biomedical, to automotive, to aeronautics, to robotics, and of course many, many others. They also conduct research to explore new technologies in all of these fields as well. It probably goes without saying that technical writing in the field is very common. Documents in mechanical engineering can include anything from field reports to research findings, from production design reports to inter-office communication, and many others. My experience thus far has been primarily with journal articles because that's what we're required to write for my laboratories. The basic format of a journal article includes the abstract, the introduction, the procedure, the presentation of data, the analysis of the data, and the conclusion. The abstract is nothing more than a brief summary of the article. It's primarily designed for those people who need the pertinent information but not necessarily all of the details. The introduction of the article is exactly what it sounds like. It consists of the background, which provides a brief history of the topic, as well as any previous research conducted on it, and also a brief overview that contains a problem statement, the basic information needed to understand the material, and a table of terminology, acronyms, and variables, although this last part is optional. The procedure section is a step-by-step account of how the experiment was conducted. It should include sufficient detail to allow others to repeat the experiment and hopefully get the same results. This is important because the more often the experiment is conducted with the same findings, the more certain we can be that those findings are accurate. Therefore, this section must be extremely descriptive. The presentation of data is another section which lives up to its name very well. It only serves to communicate the raw data collected during the experiment before any mathematical or statistical manipulation has taken place and without any interpretation. Analysis and discussion often takes place in the same section. This is where the data is manipulated into a usable form and statistics are used to determine relevancy. The section is also where the author presents their interpretation of the results and gives meaning to the numbers. The conclusion is the last section of the article and is used to restate the problem and relate the problem statement to the findings from the experiment. Oftentimes, the author will make broad statements about the effect of the research on the field, future research, and the world at large. Of course, this is only a rough overview of the format. It is not uncommon to see many variations on this design depending on the needs of the author and the host publication. As indicated by my discussion so far, technical writing is often heavily structured and standardized. But in class we discussed the idea of using colloquial English instead of the more formal version. This may not be appropriate in every situation, however. As Dr. Georges Fidel, one of my engineering professors, pointed out, engineering records are kept for a very long time, and may have to be referenced many years after they're written. If that writing is in an unconventional dialect, it may make them more difficult to interpret later. As I spoke with Dr. Fidel, who grew up in another country and for whom English is not the first language, it occurred to me that journal articles are shared and read throughout the world. And while Americans may not have trouble with the different dialects found in this country, it may not be as clear to non-native English speakers and people from other English-speaking countries. Of course, this sort of consideration may not be as applicable with other forms of technical writing as it is with journal articles. As always, the author of any document must consider their audience, both current and future, when deciding the best method to use. My personal opinion is that no matter what format, dialect, or language a person decides to use, the message is what's important. In any case, one thing is clear. Technical writing is used widely across many fields, and mechanical engineering is no exception. Thank you for your time and attention.